Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. NFL Insider slams new detail in Steelers-Russell Wilson clash, patently false. The early offseason is a time for fans to get some clarity on what happened at the end of the NFL season. That's particularly useful for some players and teams such as Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers, who started 10-3 but lost their last 5 games including the playoffs. But after February 5th, things are more muffled around the Wilson and the Steelers than clear. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Jerry Dulac reported on February 4th that offensive coordinator Arthur Smith took away Wilson's ability to change plays at the line of scrimmage late in the season. That seemingly explained the difference in game plans between Pittsburgh's first matchup versus the Cincinnati Bengals on December 1st and in the rematch on January 4th. But while appearing on 93.7 The Fans PM show with Andrew Filipponi and Chris Mueller, CBS Sports' Aditi Kinkhabwala strongly refuted Dulac's report, calling it patently false and completely inaccurate. Maybe that's not a fair way to say it. It is one-sided. It isn't complete, Kinkhabwala concluded. This is very clearly coming from one side. I'll say this straight up, Russell Wilson is a very, very nice human being, and none of this is meant to be malicious in any way, but he's clearly looking for another contract. It's important to note that Dulac wasn't the first to report an issue between Wilson and Smith. Steelers insider Mark Kaboly reported on January 14th there was friction between Wilson and Pittsburgh offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. Despite Wilson and Smith spending countless hours together after the typical workday watching film and publicly joking about it, a team source recently said that Wilson and Smith did not have a very good working relationship but fought through their differences as best they could, wrote Kaboly. Kaboly added that Smith preferred Justin Fields behind center. But other than that, Kaboly didn't have any more details on what led to disagreements between Smith and Wilson. But Dulac provided more context on February 4th. According to several sources, Smith did not want Wilson changing plays at the line of scrimmage, like he did in Cincinnati, and deviating from the game plan, Dulac wrote. Wilson's desire to attack with the pass and throw down the field clashed with Smith's run-first mentality, causing philosophical friction between the two. Against the Bengals on December 1st, Wilson attempted 38 passes, throwing for 414 yards and 3 touchdowns, leading the offense to a season-high 44 points. Expatriates H.C. Jared Mayo named fit for Pittsburgh Steelers job. The 2024 NFL season was one of disappointment and hardship for the new regime led by former New England Patriots head coach Jared Mayo. Mayo struggled to find the success that owner Robert Kraft had hoped for, especially following the once very successful regime of Bill Belichick. The former linebacker was tasked with turning the team around and putting them on the map again. Unfortunately, quite the opposite happened, as the Patriots ended up being the worst team in the AFC East and one of the worst teams in the entire league. He was quickly let go following the Patriots' final game against the Buffalo Bills, where the Patriots won. This dropped New England from the first overall pick to number 4, changing the tides of the draft for them. While it didn't go as planned, he could find a new home soon. During an appearance on the North Shore Drive podcast, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Ray Fittipaldo named Mayo an excellent fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers linebackers coach role. Mayo has never played or coached anywhere else, says Fittipaldo. He's always been a Patriot, obviously he'll be looking for a job now. I like that idea. Bring somebody in who's been a part of successful teams and see what he can add to your program. There's a bunch of guys who are going to be out there like him, but Mayo would be perfect because he played linebacker in the league. Despite his poor head coach performance, Mayo may find his footing as a positions coach elsewhere. This could be a great way to regain his confidence, which he likely lost after a disappointing showing with New England. Steelers could shoot for the stars with polarizing QB after latest trade rumors. The Pittsburgh Steelers are in desperate search of a franchise quarterback, and it's time to leave no stone unturned. Since the retirement of Ben Roethlisberger following the 2021 season, Mike Tomlin and Kevin Colbert foolishly hitched their wagon to Kenny Pickett. That was an experiment that ended early. Pickett never had the traits, tools, or upside most fans wanted this team to look for in their next franchise signal caller, and his tenure with the team ended just 2 years after being selected with the 20th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. Since then, the front office's stopgap efforts haven't panned out and the Steelers are still looking for a long-term solution. Unfortunately, the 2025 draft class is weak at the quarterback position and Pittsburgh may be forced to wait until at least the 2026 draft to resume their search for a long-term quarterback. However, the latest NFL trade rumor could interest the team in making a QB splash sooner than expected. Greg A. Bedard of Boston Sports Journal claims that the New England Patriots may be willing to trade Joe Milton III. I thought the Patriots would hold off on entertaining a trade of Joe Milton for at least another season, Bedard wrote, as transcribed by NESN.com's Adam London. But there's increasing belief around the NFL that the Patriots are at least contemplating a trade of Milton this offseason. Again, I'm not saying he's on the block right now, but the Patriots will likely consider it when everything settles with the front office and coaching staff. Milton, who just wrapped up his rookie season, showed tremendous promise when called upon, completing 22 of 29 passes for 241 yards, 8.3 yards per attempt, to go with 2 total touchdowns in his lone appearance in 2024. While Milton checks a lot of boxes teams look for at the position, is the polarizing quarterback a worthwhile gamble for Pittsburgh? It never hurts to ask. That should be the Steelers' mentality when it comes to their pursuit of a quarterback. While Pittsburgh's front office needs to be selective when throwing darts at a QB and seeing which one sticks, Joe Milton III offers some undeniable traits. At 6 feet 5 inches 1/8 foot and 235 pounds with massive 10¼ feet hands, Milton is comparable to Ben Roethlisberger, strictly from a size perspective. When you factor in his remarkable athletic traits, his top comparison on MockDraftable's database, from a size and athletic standpoint, is none other than Josh Allen. This certainly doesn't mean that he will ever come close to reaching his ceiling, but the size and athletic similarities can't be ignored. In addition to offering an elite package of traits, Milton put his tools on display in limited action as a rookie. His miraculous play extension and touchdown pass against the Bills in the season finale was one of the plays of the year. Milton added a rushing score in Week 18 against Buffalo, and fans were mesmerized by the QB's effortless backflip that followed. I don't have to tell you that it's never a good idea to trade for a quarterback because of his highlight film. But the plays Milton made in his lone NFL game as a rookie showcase his tremendous upside. Unfortunately, Milton is far from a safe gamble. Despite being a raw quarterback entering his second NFL season, Milton turns 25 years old early in the offseason. Going back to his college days, Milton's accuracy was a mess, even after playing 6 collegiate seasons, 3 at Michigan and 3 with Tennessee. Still, the reward could outweigh the risk in this instance, depending on the asking price. If the Patriots are looking to trade Milton for a third-round pick, this may be too rich for Pittsburgh to pounce. But anything lower should instantly grab their attention. You don't find quarterbacks with the tools of Joe Milton every day. Nothing is more important than finding the next franchise quarterback, and the Pittsburgh Steelers should at least gauge the asking price and do their homework before tossing this trade rumor aside. And you, fan? What do you think of the Joe Milton situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.